Awesome. Oh, you said you played Monkey in this?
Orisa, you grow stronger each time I see you.
My artificial intelligence makes it possible to learn from my experiences and from everything I do.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Orisa then Monkey? Do you care about Orisa at all? Or do you want to just skip straight to the Monkey? Skip to Monkey? Okay. Turn to Monkey. Right, big swap. Alright, so Monkey is kind of hard. There's a ton of stuff to think about. I was trying to research it is amazing attack. Yeah, I mean she's fine on attack, but like definitely not like it's definitely like not her biggest strength. So things to know about Monkey. It's hard, right? There's a meme that he takes no brain, but he's really actually quite hard on both executionally and also like decision making wise. Uh, but some general principles is like you want to abuse high ground as much as you can. You want to abuse your mobility as much as you can because as like an individual tank, you're not the BB, right? So a lot of your time is spent trying to like get around the enemy tanks, in some capacity, right? So that's like your general philosophy. So jumping straight at the diva, probably not the best. It's fine that if you recognize that she was like way out here and her whole team was way back here, but if you weren't aware of that fact, then jumping at the diva is like pretty suicidal. Okay, so this is fine as well, right? Because why is it okay? Because the whole team's over here, right? You know the diva just left, so like this guy's by himself, right? The horrific pin from him. If you want to guarantee this kill, one thing you can do is you can drop a bubble here, right? Because like normally people to help the Ryan like will like shoot him, right? Or shoot at you from behind, right? Or like the Ana would him or throw a nade over the wall or something, try to land it, try and sleep, and you can just deny all that help just by pressing bubble, by pressing E until he dies. And so you get shot there and you back away, right? And in a couple seconds he's going to get an auto bucket. Fine. Ana is like the reactions of a bot. But but like you can get like do you see how you felt forced to bubble anyways, right? So if you're gonna bubble, you should bubble earlier, cut off the Ryan from all his help, and then like walk like maybe this way to hide from everything else and zapping him from behind the whole time.
This will protect us. Could use some healing. Thanks.
Heal. Want to get on map? This is bad. Alright. Any guesses on why this is bad? Attention? Yep. So as Ryan, if you were walking through the choke and holding shield, would that be okay? Walking forward at them. It is not okay? Just holding shield walking at them? Why would that be bad? Or just like generally walking from here to here, right? Holding shield. Would that be acceptable? This side of the arch to this side of the arch. Yeah, so you want to use cover, right? You can maybe even just swing, right, as you're walking around, just like not even putting up a shield. But the general idea of like spending shield to get from here to here is totally fine, right? Because that is burning resources, right? And like you said, walking straight at them, probably not so good, right? Because you're holding shield and walking straight at them, right? and it kind of sucks, right? But if you're a monkey, right? What's your equivalent resource to shield for moving around? So if Ryan is going to use the shield to walk from here to here, jump, right? So if you're going to jump, should you jump like this or jump like this? See what I'm talking about? If your only objective with your jump is to get into the map, right, or advance your position, right, instead of going from here to the wall in front of them, right, just like jump to cover, right, cover to cover. The same concepts all apply. Everything's universal in Overwatch. Some mechanics aren't, but like most concepts are. Right? Now you can just chill here, right? But the problem is you took 300 damage going from here to here, right? Like if we look at your actual HP when you started your jump.
Thanks.
Maybe not. I don't know what your healers are doing. Yeah, so you started this jump with 400 HP. And now you're missing out. Like you took about 130 damage or something, right? And now this diva feels very confident just pushing you, right? And obviously your healers are less than competent, but like, you know, that's not the important thing here, right? Because what's important is that you took damage you didn't need to do, right? And that makes the fact that healers are worse even more problematic, right? Oh my god, he almost jumped in the dragon.
Vital signs marked.
Okay. Oh! The liver!
Need healing.
That Megas!
Very hot.
I mean, the bubble's so unnecessary.
You have my thanks.
The roof have big hands. Going for it again? Okay, don't walk into him. My guy, you see him pinning from a mile away. You saw what he did earlier too. Alright, so you see this guy. You're like, oh my god, he's gonna pin just like he did last time, like an idiot, right? And then he pins. He's not even pinning at you, right? And instead of going this way, you're like, oh, I'm safe. You like walk into his pin. And then you die. Now this Ryan's gonna die and you might get res? Always hard to know. Have res? Not have res. Alright, so you're not gonna get res. Unlucky. Am I getting in time actually? Yeah. And so the fact that like, if you think about it in terms of what happened, that was a 1-for-1 main tank trade. Even though that Ryan was stupid, right? But if he didn't kill you, this would be a 1-for-0. You just go straight into this point and you'd win the point. But now, like, your team might just int in a 5v5. It's entirely possible, right? And there's a Junkrat behind them they don't even know about. Apparently.
Through the miracle of science.
Alright, your team's winning. Nice. Dragonblade OP. They're also ulting all the ultimates.
The objective is mine. Be quick about it.
Run, bubble. Yes, run! Run! Nice. How'd you bubble take no damage? What? What? Huh? What? Alright, bubble's broken. Confirmed. The best ability in the game. Alright. As much as you want to zap Ryan because he's being stupid, right? Keep in mind that you know where the tire came from. Because the tire came from over here. You saw it come from over here, right? So, go kill this guy first. This guy's easier to kill, right? That's almost always true in general. And oh my god. And it's especially true for Monkey, who like does not like armor.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
Push that payload. Thanks.
Alright, I know you need to get healing, but like you don't want to be on card with Monkey. You kind of need to sometimes, but most of the time you want to be taking position on the map, right? Alright. So, What is the equivalent of this on Rhine? This bubble is what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. So quick question: how much HP does your hog have? See it, but well, he's got a lot of HP. He's got 278 HP, right? You know how much damage a diva does from this range? Not a lot, right? So, like, you can see your hog through the wall. You know he's probably like yellow HP or whatever, right? I don't know actually. I think it's yellow, right? I think that's how it green's yellow and like dark. But the point is, you can see what what the damage this hog is taking, right? And the fact is, he's already around the corner by the time you get here, right? He's not even getting shot anymore. He can barely get shot at all. So if you happen to get slept right in this instance, then walking forward and bubbling is fine, right? But like you bubble, despite the fact he's here when you bubble, right? See the issue? Okay. He's already here by the time you actually deploy your bubble, right? It's just like I get the mentality, but like your bubble is really important because it's the equivalent of standing here with this Rhine and burning your entire shield, right? That's equivalent of using bubble when you don't have to, or using bubble defensively, right? It's literally burning through your entire shield as Rhine for in like a couple seconds, right? And you need that shield for yourself, right? So whenever you don't have to spend shield on other people, like all the better, right? Sometimes you need to, right? Like if this guy got slept first, right? Then you might consider dropping a bubble on him, right? But in most cases, if you expect a fight to happen soon, you need that bubble for yourself. And again, map control, right? So if you were Ryan, where would you be? Or like if it's squishy, maybe. I mean, again, depends on what kind of follow-up they're going to get by, right? And don't forget, like both teams are running Mercy. Like Mercy is super common in this bracket, which means that everybody has res. That was me being dumb, not seeing the car. Oh, just like back to sitting behind it. But like, I mean, why are you here in general, right? That's a bigger question. Like, if you're Ryan, where would you be? Trying to walk right. Yeah. So yeah, you can be like here as Ryan. You can be here as Ryan if you can get to this spot. You can be up here as Ryan. A little spicy, but there's a bunch of stuff you can consider, right? And like as Monkey, you can or like you don't want to be up here generally because like you get shredded, right? Um, yeah, but as Ryan, you would want to push up, and as Monkey, you want to take relevant space that allows you to either drop on them or jump at them, right? And so that's like here, like this lets you jump to here better than this does, right? It's not like that much better, but it is better, right? Another thing you can do is you can like jump up here. Now you're in a spot where you can pretty easily, if no one on the enemy team takes castle, which is incredibly common at low rank players, right? There's a walk over here, right? And as like your team, like as the card gets like this point, the enemy team doesn't move at all. They're just sitting here. It's gonna free drop on their backline. You can bubble, right? And as soon as you take any kind of pressure, right, you just jump back up. And you're totally safe. You took almost no damage, right? And then you'll invite a diva to chase you, and you'll do stuff. But like for the most part, right? You'll apply a lot of pressure. You make a lot of people turn around, and if they don't turn around, which is also very common at this rank, just straight up kill their entire backline by yourself, right? You kill the honor, you kill the mercy, and then fight's over, right? Nothing that matters at that point. As long as you do this at a good time, right? But like, you're just not doing anything, right? Chilling. Your team is fighting, right? Your team is actively fighting. I don't know, actually, maybe not actively fighting. What is this guy doing? Alright, well, I guess you can kill the Rhine, but you know, another thing you can do to kill Rhine, right, is jumping over here, dropping a bubble, right? And keeping these guys out while your team just eventually kills the Rhine. Because your team will eventually, hopefully, right? It's okay as well, you're fighting isolated people, but definitely not the target you want. Yeah, like, what is this guy doing here? I have no idea. Suicidal. Careful walking the junk. Like when you're walking the junk, make sure you're keeping an eye on the ground in case there's a trap in front of him. The Ryan came from here and like either pinned down or like just dropped on it. It was weird. But again, like what is one thing you can do to set up for a bad fight? Or not a bad fight. I read bad bubble. That bubble's okay because the Ryan was in, right? Again, like when things are happening, using cooldowns is okay, right? Spending shield in the middle of a fight is totally fine as Ryan, right? Likewise for Monkey bubble in a fight, right? There's better ways you can use it probably, but the timing wasn't as bad, right? But now what is something you can do, right? Set up better for the next fight, right? Especially with the Ryan dead. And you also know where the whole enemy team is because they're shooting at you the whole time. Jump. I assume that's jump, but yes, you just jump. Where would you jump? Castle. Yes, castle. Go here, right? See that Hanzo when you come up, right? And then you would chill and hide here, right? Maybe consider even dropping if you think he's gonna push you and he's smart. And then your next jump will just take you right over to the Hanzo, right? And then he has to drop off the high ground, right? And now it's your high ground, right? And if you have a mercy, or not a mercy, even Ana, your Ana can pocket you from down here. But you have a Ana Mars a little bit harder, so you might have to rely on like either a thrown orb or like the health pack or whatever. And then from there you can just either drop, right, and bubble if you still have it, or just drop and jump back out as soon as like anyone even looks, right? So this is like nothing, right? You're doing nothing, right? Alright. This is something you just gotta figure out, like whether or not what jumps you can make, right? So jumping over the cart, jumping over things in general is problematic because it makes you go really high as an arc, right? And that if you go too high of an angle of an arc, it's very hard to get long distances, right? So jump over the cart, you can't reach us. You can only reach that high ground if you step around the cart and jump like or like at it, right? Like jump more towards like I guess the center of your screen would be like at that like pillar thing, right? At that, and then you land on the high ground. As opposed to here, where in order to get over the cart, you gotta look like this, right? You look like way over it. So if you look at what you were jump.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Look how high you have to look how high you're looking, right? There's no way in the world you get even close to Hanzo, right? You're also not even looking at the Hanzo, you're like looking at the high ground, so I don't know what's going on here. But like yeah, this is just something you'll have to figure out with time. But not only is this a wasted jump, it puts you in harm's way. This Hanzo's competent. He just like presses E and dunks everything into you until you drop bubble, right? And if you don't drop bubble, you die. And if you drop bubble, now you're useless, right? So you might as well be dead. This Hanzo doesn't even shoot you. It's incredible. Okay, he shot you once. Alright. So, just missed your jump. The Hanzo shot you, but you know he's still there, right? And then you come around the corner and you drop a bubble. You're like, oh no. This is Ryan holding shield until it dies, right? This is what this bubble is, right? Because you want to jump at things, right? You want to jump at this guy or this guy, whatever the case may be, right? Come around the corner, you see something you want to jump at it and drop bubble, right? But the problem is, drop bubble, and now you're like, okay, now I've jumped, but what do I do, right? Because jumping at this Hanzo without a bubble when he's looking at you is like Omega death, right? He has to be incompetent to miss. Now, like your fight's done, right? Your contribution to the fight was missing a jump, running away, taking damage, dropping bubble that for yourself, and then hiding, right? That was your contribution to this fight. Oh, you get the jump this time? This jump was also a little bit too high. Alright. Got healed back up. And he wasn't actually locked in on you. Like, he missed his headshot on your entry, so you, Alright. If you're gonna fight anywhere for an extended period of time, and you expect to take damage during it, just draw a bubble. Like, what is the difference between this bubble, right, that I said was necessary, sorry, what's the difference between this bubble, hang on, sorry, what's the difference between this bubble, which I think is bad, right, and next bubble, which will be in more or less the same spot, I can get there, and this bubble, which I felt was, and this bubble, which I felt was like way too late. What's the difference? Yeah, no one can shoot you, right? But now, Diva is terrifying, right? And you were on top of the Junkrat already. Yeah, exactly.
surrender to my will.
Nice target focus. Oh, yes. Bubble's probably unnecessary, but like, not gonna need it anytime soon.
Rearrange your molecule. Hey,
Hey. Alright. Now what should you do? The immediate next step. Castle, yes. Jump up. Find anyone, you fight him, right? This is also why you don't really want to spend bubble here, because like realistically he's not going to kill you unless he ults, right? If he ults, you bubble anyway. Um, and now you can like challenge someone better with bubble up here, right? If someone is there. But yeah, you want to be castle control. You want to be sitting up here. Go maybe this way. Go this. Clear it, just generally clear it, and then like jump over here and be on top of them as they come out, right? But you want to like clear this side of the map. That's really important. Mr. Drop. Okay, there's a lot of things I could say about this. So this jump is okay. It's a little bit high. You're trying to like jump over the card again, right? And then the second thing is that you've dropped your bubble incredibly early, right? Look where your bubble is. Dumb here, like really dumb. But like look where your bubble is. This is where you are, right? If there's anyone over here who is shooting at you, they don't really care about this bubble, right? You'd much rather like, especially when you know there's no threats, like it's okay to delay your bubble drop. Jump, land on this guy, right? And if like you start eating, if you start getting attention from the other side, right, or people start coming on this corner, right, to back up the Mercy, then you drop your bubble, right? But the Mercy is not really a threat, right? Not gonna do any damage to you. She has no CC, right? More scared about other stuff than the Mercy. So like bubbling right here, like bubbling when you jump like this means that you expect to get CC'd. Like you're jumping at a Lucio or a break, and you're trying to block their right. But like it's a Mercy, right? My guess is you're gonna primal and jump off the map. Run. Okay, you just don't primal. I don't know, that wasn't that bad. Your team was dead.
I'm ready to unleash my primal rage. Hi there.
Alright, this is good. This is actually really good. Because you're gonna show up here, right? They're not shooting you, right? Because they're not looking this way, and you also have hard cover. You just need to wait for your team to kind of get in position, right? And then you just the super extension rumors. You get primal. Like you get away with a ton of BS when you have primal. Yeah, you're kind of waiting for your team to get in position, right? And then you just like walk out, run at like just jump straight into their backline, bubble, right? And then primal if you take it once you start taking heat. Sag. All right, did you know that you get a jump reset during primal? Did you also know that bubble cooldown is like 13 seconds or something like that? And that primal duration is about 10 seconds. Meaning, when your primal ends, you're going to have another bubble most of the time. So, for your primal, you should use your cooldowns. So, come over here, jump, go deep, drop, maybe even on top of this. This is actually a really good spot to jump. Drop your bubble, zap this McCree, tries to CC you, it pulls everybody back. The Roadhog turns around, like maybe tries to hook you and hits the bubble. The D.Va flies into your bubble, right? Everyone's like dumping like heals onto this guy, and then once that's all going on, your team's like walking in for free. Then you primal, you try and kick someone off the edge if you can, right? Just knock people around, you do whatever the heck you want because you're monkey and primal, right? And then realistically, you most likely won the fight, especially if you killed someone in the primal, right? Because you can just isolate a squishy and kill them a lot. But now, nothing feels bad. You're gonna jump and you're gonna get CC'd and you're gonna get blown up in like 2 seconds. See how spot on my prediction is. Question mark. Alright, please don't jump at divas. Especially when they're full health and they're not isolated by your team. There's a fight happening behind you. I know there's a Roadhog behind you, and you don't really want to mess with the Roadhog either, but... Like, this is not the target. This is the Nano Diva you jumped at. I mean, Nano expired, right? But like... If she just turned around and shot you, she would just kill you. It's not a fight you want. And then you bubbled for yourself when she's not even looking at you. And you're jumping at the... Okay, so again, if you want to jump towards places, you want to ideally try to just land on high grounds, right? So one thing you can do is like, if you're too far away, right, you can just land on the cart, and that's a suitable high ground, right? So not only will you boop them away from the cart, once you land on the high ground, you can just drop off on the other side, and it's much harder for them to shoot you, right? And you can choose which side, whichever side, right? So like, if you like land on the cart, right, and she tries to like squeeze around this side, you can just drop down on this side. There, you can just play Ring around the Rosie with the Diva. A better high ground you can jump to actually, though, is like if you walk a little bit closer, and again, Diva doesn't do any damage at this range, right, from here to there, right? Is you jump and land on this thing, right, and you can kick the Mercy off the high ground, and you see how like she's abusing this high ground, and now that immediately makes her invulnerable. Like at your ELO, right? Anyone who plays high ground is invulnerable. They might as well have like an invisibility and like damage resistance buff, right? She's just sitting here, and no one is even looking at her, right? And that person looking at her could be you, right? Jump at her. There's no one who can peel for her realistically, right? Land on her. You force her to move, right? And you zap her the whole time, right? And drop and bubble if you need to, although you don't have that. Chase her down and kill her, right? And it would require a really big peel from the Diva to deal with you, right? And this Diva's dumb and already used boost, so she can't even peel. Actually, let me come from that save. Yes. Oh no, she didn't use boost. She actually just walked from over here to here. Okay, maybe not. But regardless, most Divas are big, dumb, and don't do anything. So you can just jump at this guy, kill her, right? And then play the rest of your fight out, right? This Mercy's will keep them in this fight, not this Diva. Right? Roadhog maybe actually, but you know, as a different story. But you're jumping at the tanks, right? Including an armored Diva with boosters that without a bubble, right? Like you're asking to die, right? This Roadhog has hook. This guy has has shotguns, right? You don't want to mess with these guys. And then you leave. And this, look, she's still here. She hasn't moved. Only one person has started focusing here, and the fight's already lost. See this? Let's watch. Let's watch how she plays this fight. So relaxing. Oh, what a play from the Mercy. Didn't even have to do anything and won the fight for her team, right? Hey, so wait, how does the Zappy Cannon work against armor? It does half damage. Basically. Or maybe it was like 80% or something. It does a lot less. Maybe 70. I don't remember the exact numbers. Yeah. Yeah. Mercy just sat here and held M1 and she won the fight, right? That's because, right, high ground is invincibility a lot of the time. No meme.
Use healer. Form up.
Because
Group up with me.
Alright, so again, is there going to be a time when you want to go in the next 12 seconds? 13 seconds, sorry. Yes. Therefore, a bad shield. Oh, that's bad. Alright. Well, you didn't go in the next 13 seconds. So you're cool.
Reform up. Group up.
We're all chill.
My blade is ready to go.
Group up with me. Barrier activated.
Right. This bubble is okay. Actually, surprisingly. So, it's obviously not ideal. But why do I consider this bubble slightly better than the previous bubble? Yeah. So the point is you were fighting someone, right? So normal, especially someone you'd want to fight, not a diva, right? So the thing is, when you fight someone, like if you, so normally you jump at people so you can fight the people you want to fight, right? Want to fight backline heroes, squishies, right? Not particularly the Junkrat because he can always boop you away. It's really annoying. But like the Mercy, the McCree, the Honor, these are the people you want to fight, right? So normally you need to get to them with jump because of positioning, right? And then you use your bubble to help you fight them, right? Prevent yourself from getting CC'd and dying to them, right? Because a lot of the people you want to kill are actually really dangerous too, right? So found someone that you'd like to fight, right? So you just skip the jumping because he was right next to you and you dropped your bubble, right? So even though this bubble was a little bit late, the placement wasn't the best, right? And he just like conks his way out of all of his problems like a classic junk player, right? At least like it was a fight that you wanted to take, right? At least this is a bubble for a fight you wanted to take. So that makes the bubble like better. And now you're taking high ground. Yes. Right. So I know you don't have bubble, right? And I know you're missing health, but this is an EMP and a Dragon Blade. You gotta go in. It actually doesn't matter what else is going on, right? You just gotta jump. So you jumped. I appreciate it. That's what matters. The decision was what matters. You gotta work on your execution for sure. But yeah, some of the stuff is just takes experience, like practice.
Further experimentation required.
I'm on fire. You have my.
The
I
payload
understand.
has reached the channel.
Hands. Alright, so you keep doing this, like, okay, well, I can't see your bubble anymore because Roadhog killed it, but, do this a lot. We're like, you just jump, and you drop your bubble too early, right? You just drop your bubble as soon as you land early, walk in, bubble, and then you're like, oh, bubble's in a bad spot, and you just walk forward out of your bubble. So, hang on a second. I'm gonna watch this guy for a bit. I need to know something.
Push that payload. Group up. Hey.
Okay, your Mercy's throwing. She's actually throwing. She's deranking. She's trying to place his account low and then play rank. Like, I'm not even joking. She. No, it's not a DPS Mercy problem. She's intentionally dying, right? She's taking long paths to get back from spawn and intentionally dying, right? Like, this is not what a new player looks like. A player, like, gets confused by stuff, but they try to play the game. Let's watch her some more. Right? This person's actually intentionally.
Mercy in Bereitschaftsdienst. Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, maybe she. Okay. Yeah, but like some people like will like place their quick play MMR. Yeah, they want to get their MMR low so that way they can.
I'm taking
I don't know. Maybe she's bad. Okay, I'll watch a bit more. Just so I don't accidentally use her. I'm not sure. It could just be really bad. Cause this camera move stuff is like, it's hard to fake, you know? Okay, maybe she's really bad, but I don't know why she was standing on cart.
The battle continues.
I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
Maybe she didn't know the door broke. That's the thing. That's the
We must ensure the payload's progress.
Let me get you patched up. Surrender to my will.
I excited the enemy.
The payload is
Okay, she might be new.
approaching its
Alright, never
destination.
mind. I withdraw my statement. Alright, sorry. Back to the actual mod review.
I'm on fire. Not me.
Deine Göttin ist da.
Payload in motion.
Yeah, so, where do you rate that bubble? Good, bad, or okay? Or just like, let's not do a sliding scale. That bubble's okay or not? Let's go like from like acceptable, bad. Think it was okay? Yeah. Why do you think it was okay? Yeah, you're doing a bit of shielding, right? Better. Also, asking the tough questions, huh? uh, yeah, in theory, but like, who would you isolate? How would you isolate them? Yeah, but okay. So this is really important. The Echo and Junk are out here. What happens if you jump out here and bubble, or walk out and bubble? Okay, well, just remember that like the bubble, you place the bubble where you are, right? So the thing is, yeah, the bubble just died. So like, this is where the healer is. This is where this guy is. In order to put a bubble here, you need to physically be here, right? Feel that? Many gun shoot bubble. Yes, but why would many gun shoot bubble, right? Why would many gun be able to shoot you? Because if many gun shoot bubble, many gun shoot you all the time, then how does anyone play monkey, right? What's the difference here between this and a normal situation? Your team's not here. Your team's dead. So any jump out is suicidal, right? Again, this is how you always have to think as monkey. Can my team, or main tank in general, but especially monkey, can my team do anything, right? So you're gonna jump out, like the reason why this bubble's okay, right, is because you're not going to go in. You know you're not going to go in, so you can just drop your bubble wherever and run away, right? You don't care. You just don't want to take damage, right? So you feel pretty okay with just dropping a bubble and walking out, right? Because you know you're not going to go in, right? Because your team is dead. What's that?
I feel great.
Now you feel okay going in because the enemy team is overextending into your space, like they're walking into bad chokes, right? Your team also got a kill, and your team is slowly coming back, right? So this jump feels a lot better because their team is also dead, right? They're missing 2 people right now. So this is like a 4-on-4, and they're overextending to a choke. So now it's even, right? Now it's not you extending into 6 people or 5 people by yourself, right? It's you cutting off the back line with a bubble, potentially. 4 seconds. And a primal. while like they're extending to bad space while dead. Yeah, this jump is a lot better, right? Although you're not. Look at that health bar real quick. Right. All right. 150 HP. No nade, right? Probably no sleep either. Let's check. He's using it right now on a wall. 600 HP. 300 armor. I don't think I like this very much. So, and also, notice that you were here, and you walked this way. You land here, go this way, towards the Ana. And if you get shot enough by the D.Va from behind, you're about to die, then you primal, right? Or bubble, whichever comes up faster. Whichever situation comes up faster. Kill. This is how badly the Ana's positioned. Is that you shot the D.Va, you stood here, and eventually the Ana was so badly positioned she had to walk back into you and just died, right? So just kill the Ana faster. Okay? Although, again, not again, but like if someone's in the bubble with you, you need to walk out of the bubble. The bubble's not your happy place if the threats are inside the bubble with you, you know? So that way you don't have to jump out, right? You can just like, it's called bubble dancing, right? It's like the D.Va's in the bubble, you walk out of the bubble, tries to chase you out of the bubble, right? She walks out of the bubble and you walk back into the bubble, right? And you just like walk back and forth between the bubble and she does no damage to you, right? Really important tactic, right? So instead of tanking the bubble and tanking the damage within the bubble and then jumping out, right? You can just bubble dance, not have to use your jump, and the D.Va's going to get burned eventually and have to either leave. You can chase her with your jump, or you can just use your jump on something else, right? Yeah, like with a sim wall, exactly, right? You took a lot of unnecessary damage and then had to remove yourself from the fight, right? Entirely. Jump the mercy, jump the mercy, yes! Your bubble's too early again, right? Your bubble lands here, you're outside the bubble, right? Your threats are not inside the bubble with you, so there's no reason to be outside the bubble. And that's because your bubble is too early, right? So look where you jump, right? And like this is where you dropped your bubble. You were still mid-flight when you dropped your bubble. Especially when like it's a mercy, right? Who again is not going to CC you or damage you in any meaningful way, right? Wait to see where you're jumping into before you bubble, right? So you jump. This is when you bubble. You see literally nothing. You see a mercy, right? Who's going to shoot you, right? Do you see the junk actually? You see the junk, but like again, right? This bubble is so early. You're already pressing the button as you see the junk. So sometimes you need a bubble, right? Sometimes you need a bubble early, right? But in most cases, you want to bubble like at least when you're like right here, like landing on the mercy, and that way your bubble is much better placed, right? But this bubble is too early, right? This bubble like was when you were at this point in your jump, right? Because it lands right here where you through it, right? As a result, land here. Look where your bubble is, right? You want your bubble to be like at minimum, the edge of the bubble should be covering you, right? That way, if you need to, you can walk out of the bubble, right? Or like stay in the bubble. But like at minimum, the edge of the bubble needs to be at least next to you, right? Like right here. This is like 2 meters or something away from you. So that's the time you should probably practice. I can show you examples, but like this could cause you to take a lot of unnecessary damage, and your bubble does literally nothing, right? Yeah, bubble timing is hard, but at the very least, like make it you're doing okay bubble. You know that bubble's way too early.
I've sighted the enemy.
Yes, jump at the Ana. The bubble's okay because she might sleep you, right? So if you know she has no sleep, that's fine not to, right? But like this bubble's okay. Just remember that when she's going this way, you don't walk out of your bubble, especially when she hasn't slept. Just sit here, zap her from the edge of your bubble, right? From high ground, right?
That's my
Look, that D.Va was so distracted with your bubble, she didn't even touch one. Bubble's good. Yeah. So overall, big things for you are finding ways to jump from cover to cover better during rotations. Using a bubble more for fighting and less for like just general shielding. It's really bad as a general shield. And then Also, target prioritization. Like, stop looking at divas. They don't matter. In fact, they do matter in the sense that they're going to kill you. So don't look at them and don't jump at them. Look at anything else, right? Let me show you. How do I do a custom game? I can walk. That's the wrong one. That is not the slider I want to touch. There we go. No worries. Do you want to do it right now? As soon as I finish this.
Imagination is the essence of discovery.
Alright, so, okay, hang on. So, this jump, right, just like aim the leg slightly above it, that would too low actually. Aim more towards like that, right? Land pretty much exactly on it. What else? Bubble placement. Okay, so, let's see. And also, when you jump towards there, right, you can do it from like right here. Right? And then for bubble placement, you can like jump and cover the bubble here, right? And it will cover you for a lot of this. This was actually slightly too early, probably, for depending on what I wanted, right? And again, this is something you just gotta play around with and get used to. Like, it's all very like skill based. Bubble land's pretty much spot on, right? But depending on the situation, right? If I'm jumping at a brick, right, I need a bubble earlier, right? So I block the CC and then I can use the edge of the bubble, right? Another thing you do is like after you jump, like you can hold spacebar and get like a skip, right? Yeah, like I get like an extra little jump out of it. You maintain momentum that way, and that way like you can place your bubble a little bit later and still land at the edge of your bubble if you need a bubble dance against like a Kree or Reaper, right? This, right? That was actually too far. But like you can that lets you drop your bubble later while still being on the edge of it. Okay, I'm actually dropping my bubble like way too early. Right, now I'm on the edge of my bubble, right? So that's one way to time your bubble. If you want to go deep, right? Oh, whoops, I was a shift by accident. Yeah. So, and if you're not going to do the B-hop again, like you can time your bubble, right? Right. And now I'm pretty much on the edge of it. Right? I can just like get out, right? There's a bunch of stuff you can do with Monkey. Like Monkey is like a pretty open. Box is not the word. Open-ended here. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Yeah. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Actually, why am I saying that? Like, do you have any questions?
Barrier up.
The strata.
Barrier activated.
Head on the edge.
Barrier up.